It's got a
Hey,
soul.
Geeslings, how you doing this morning?
This hero farm.
Alright.
Falls asleep.
How's it
Deep
going?
inside my arms. We walk the fields under the stars. Where love is here in Goldshop Farms.
So I saw this Facebook ad this morning. That was like the dumbest thing ever. It was for this company that does mail order ugly vegetables. They're saying, hey, pay attention to this produce. It's ugly, but it doesn't mean it doesn't taste good. It's this company saying that they're trying to prevent food waste and food spoilage by finding consumers who want to buy ugly vegetables.
Americans throw away millions of pounds of food, leading to millions of pounds of waste.
Ugly produce trend. Produce simply gets thrown away because it doesn't look good.
There's so much food waste in this country. What I get in my imperfect produce box.
And it's so flippin' stupid.
Stupid! You're so stupid!
And let me explain why. So the ugly food movement has been this thing that's been around for a little while. And oftentimes it's lots of venture capital-y types trying to say that this is a more sustainable way to buy and sell produce.
Let's build a great business. Let's give people hope. Let's empower them, and we'll make the money.
And oh, look at this problem that we have in this world where people are wasting so much food. And wouldn't it be great if there was something we could do with all of this ugly produce? Like, why isn't anybody doing something about this?
And just normally that stuff would just be dumped.
It would be dumped. It would be tossed in a landfill.
But the thing is, it's a problem that doesn't really exist.
Believers in Bigfoot say he's a massive creature.
I think you guys are probably familiar with this idea that both farmers and food companies are capitalists.
See this? I got this. Selling corn.
Most of them exist as for-profit entities that are out there to make money.
You see that? You kill it, you got free chicken. You can sell it to people.
Which is a fine thing, and a good thing. So I'm not critiquing capitalism at all. That's not the intent of this video. And as for-profit entities, you know, both the farmers and the food companies are looking for ways to maximize their profits. They're looking for ways to avoid expenses, avoid waste, and make as much money for themselves and or their shareholders as they possibly can. And that is the American way.
We're not going to sit here and listen to you bad-mouth the United States of America.
And because they've had this for-profit mindset for decades and decades and decades, what would often happen to ugly produce, whether it was a misshapen carrot or a weird looking tomato or an apple that just didn't quite form right, they found a very effective and profitable way to do away with that food waste. So the pretty looking produce would go off to the market and be sold at stores or farmers markets or wherever they're selling their direct whole produce. And the ugly stuff would go to food processors, where it would be turned into things like canned soup or applesauce or salsa.
Salsa is now the #1 condiment in America.
Because people like to say salsa.
And quite literally anything that you could think of that's a processed food product. And for really ugly stuff, the farmers would often feed it to their livestock. But that doesn't mean I would actually feed produce to these livestock. They're actually geese, and so they mostly like to eat grasses. But you guys get the idea. What pig wouldn't like a malformed watermelon, and what chicken wouldn't eat some rotten tomatoes? And I guess the reason that the Facebook ad that I saw this morning really got my goat is because it's the height of stupidity to think that just because I don't personally see ugly produce in the supermarket, that must mean that it gets wasted.
It doesn't actually make it to the store shelves. It's just too ugly to make it.
And people aren't stepping back and saying, well, wouldn't there potentially be another path for these ugly vegetables? You could go your own way. So I know that I'm pooping all over the business model of a small, tiny startup like Misfits Market. But I feel like it's important to be talking about this stuff and saying that this is a good thing and saying that this is a, what do they say in the ad here? And saying that this is a good way to save money is just kind of dopey. I mean, if people are really looking to save money, grow your own food or maybe buy from a CSA. There's better options out there. Don't buy into the hype of a company that's positioning this as a cheaper way to buy good produce. You know, a little while back, this lady by the name of Sarah Tabor, who's like a food and farm safety scientist. She's got a bunch of credentials, I'm not exactly sure what they mean, but she's really smart. She went on this epic tweetstorm a couple months back all about this topic, and ever since I saw that, that really stuck with me. So when I saw this dumb ad, it really got me shaking my fist in the morning and saying, oh, those people, they're just still at it. And so I figured I'd pass along that word to all of you guys, and you should share that with your friends. People should not be duped into thinking that these sorts of ways of buying produce are better in any sort of way. In my opinion, I think you're better off just buying directly from a farmer that you know or growing it yourself than, you know, trying to do some weird goofy startup that's delivering boxes of ugly produce to you. I mean, it's kind of silly. So yeah, that's my rant for this morning. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will be back soon with another video.